نحن بالفعل نولد لنكون رائعين، لنشعر بالروعة. إذا تعلمت التحكم في تنفسك، تلك هي قوة الحياة. لدينا القدرة لنصبح سعداء بدون الحاجة لأشياء أخرى، سعادة بدون شروط، لكننا متحضرون للموت. لدينا الكثير من التكنولوجيا، وكم نحن فقراء من ناحية جودة الحياة التي نعيشها. من هنا تبدأ الأمراض الجسدية والنفسية، لأن دماغنا البدائي قادر على درء الخطر غير المتصل. لإعادة الاتصال، اجعل التكنولوجيا الحيوية مستمرة. أنا أثبت كل هذا عن طريق العلم، عن طريق تقنية تنفس بسيطة، 13 نفساً، شهيق عميق، زفير. نحن قادرون على خلق مسارات عصبية جديدة في أعمق جزء من دماغنا. ذلك يزيد من قدرة عقلك الواعي، وتلك هي غايتنا. ستتعلم كيف تصبح المتحكم في جسدك وفي عقلك.
Let's talk about some of the things you did, because you first started breaking world records for spending time in the cold. And people were like, who is this guy? And you'd spend an hour in the cold, and then an hour and a half in the cold, and an hour and 45 minutes in the ice. And then you went and did this immune system study with I think a university in Holland, where
University. Yes.
They injected you with like an E. coli that would normally cause a violent physical reaction. And with your breathing technique, you had no reaction, and it was scientifically proven, right?
Yes.
Then you went and taught, I think, 10 random people to do the same thing, so it wasn't just you being a genetic freak.
Yes.
So this is slowly people starting to understand, wow, there's science here, there's science. And now you've done more of these studies.
Yes. We reproduced that study, which fundamentally changed the books in the university, namely that the autonomic nervous system can be deeply influenced, and that after 16,134 same experiments, a controlled endotoxin experiment, wherein everybody was injected with the E. coli bacteria, which makes the people sick between 3 and 6 hours. Very sick, like uncontrolled shivering, fever, severe headaches, overall muscle ache, backaches, things like that. Really sick, but controlled. It's after 6 hours, it goes down and you become normal again. It's a controlled experiment. So more than 16,000 people had undergone the same experiment, the same injection of the bacteria, and nobody could fend off the reaction on the immune system caused by the injected E. coli bacteria. And that was like known in science. Yeah, that is because we have no control over the immune system, which is related to the autonomic nervous system. We have no control over that. And then suddenly 12 people show 100% score after 4 days over the immune system and activating deeply into the autonomic nervous system. That fundamentally has changed our beliefs and insights and understanding of what we as humans are capable of within our bodies. That was only the start. We reproduced that study with more people, and we got the same results.
You taught them your breathing techniques.
Yes.
They got injected.
Yes.
And they were able to not have reactions.
No symptoms of fever, no uncontrolled. They felt okay. They began to make jokes like, that must be a sort of placebo or nocebo or whatever. It must be sugar water because the E. coli bacteria is not here.
And they were doing the Wim Hof breathing method every 30 minutes for 6 hours, or you?
I always say, do it as much as you feel you need. These breathing techniques enable you to go deeply within your physiology, and if something is wrong in your physiology, that is, for example, an injected bacteria, then you are able to tap into your own physiology and get rid of the intruder, in this case, the bacteria.
Right.
Are we built like that? Yes, we are built. That fundamentally changed our perspectives and understanding of what we as humans are capable of. Yeah, that is a result. And now I'm going on since the last time I told my dramatic story of life, and it was dramatic, etc. And I was incapable after the suicide of my woman in '95 because of being schizophrenic, manic depression. Right now I'm changing the psychiatric insight of what we as humans with our conscious will are capable of in fending off, say, depression, psychosis, fear, trauma, PTSD, anything. We are able to tackle the terrorist because the real terrorist is inside.
Yeah.
And we are able to tackle that. Through what? Simple techniques of breathing makes you a possible alchemist. The alchemist within. It's not out there. We don't need the gold. We need to become the golden man, the golden Jew man. We need to radiate. We need to be like the sun, the corona, to become the king, the queen, as we are, and feel it that way. In that way, we radiate that energy and we bring prosperity for everybody.
Are you sleeping restlessly, feeling irritable or moody? Forgetting little things and feeling overwhelmed and isolated? Don't worry, we've all been there. You're probably just stressed out. Stress isn't always a bad thing. It can be handy for a burst of extra energy and focus, like when you're playing a competitive sport or have to speak in public. But when it's continuous, the kind most of us face day in and day out, it actually begins to change your brain. Chronic stress, like being overworked or having arguments at home, can affect brain size, its structure, and how it functions, right down to the level of your genes. Stress begins with something called the hypothalamus-pituitary-adrenal axis, a series of interactions between endocrine glands in the brain and on the kidney, which controls your body's reaction to stress. When your brain detects a stressful situation, your HPA axis is instantly activated and releases a hormone called cortisol, which primes your body for instant action. But high levels of cortisol over long periods of time wreak havoc on your brain. For example, chronic stress increases the activity level and number of neural connections in the amygdala, your brain's fear center. And as levels of cortisol rise, electric signals in your hippocampus, the part of the brain associated with learning, memories, and stress control, deteriorate. The hippocampus also inhibits the activity of the HPA axis, so when it weakens, so does your ability to control your stress. That's not all though. Cortisol can literally cause your brain to shrink in size. Too much of it results in the loss of synaptic connections between neurons and the shrinking of your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that regulates behaviors like concentration, decision-making, judgment, and social interaction. It also leads to fewer new brain cells being made in the hippocampus. This means chronic stress might make it harder for you to learn and remember things, and also set the stage for more serious mental problems like depression and eventually Alzheimer's disease. The effects of stress may filter right down to your brain's DNA. An experiment showed that the amount of nurturing a mother rat provides its newborn baby plays a part in determining how that baby responds to stress later in life. The pups of nurturing moms turned out less sensitive to stress because their brains developed more cortisol receptors, which stick to cortisol and dampen the stress response. The pups of negligent moms had the opposite outcome, and so became more sensitive to stress throughout life. These are considered epigenetic changes, meaning that they affect which genes are expressed without directly changing the genetic code. And these changes can be reversed if the moms are swapped. But there's a surprising result. The epigenetic changes caused by one single mother rat were passed down to many generations of rats after her. In other words, the results of these actions were inheritable. It's not all bad news though. There are many ways to reverse what cortisol does to your stressed brain. The most powerful weapons are exercise and meditation, which involves breathing deeply and being aware and focused on your surroundings. Both of these activities decrease your stress and increase the size of the hippocampus, thereby improving your memory. So don't feel defeated by the pressures of daily life. Get in control of your stress before it takes control of you.